Thank you for the invitation to share Thailand's Professional Qualification Institute's RPL activities that have been ongoing for, I think, since 2012. RPL being the recognition of prior learning, that is, informal and non-formal learning. I first became impressed of TPQI's work in 2018 when they were presenting in Australia at the World Congress of World Federation of Colleges and Polytechnics. We have kept in touch since. Recently, we being UNESCO, have included Thailand in the country reports informing the UIL Global Guidelines for RVA for migrants and refugees, Marie previously presented. Today, Thunyamart, TPQI's international project coordinator, will join us virtually to speak about the professional qualification system and their RPL process. I will first share Thailand's NQF and the significance of professional qualifications for RPL. We're going to do that in 14 minutes. Professional qualifications are embedded into the Thai National Qualification Framework. This is unique for NQFs. Professional qualifications comprise occupational standards. They are different to TVET educational qualifications. Thailand intends professional qualifications to strengthen enterprises and professional organisations, which in turn strengthen educational sectors. Thailand's rationale is that professional qualifications provide a mechanism to incentivise enterprises to improve the education system. Industry employers have buy-in and accountability. Professional qualifications also act as a mechanism to align wages and salaries to capacity, skills and competency. The main aim is to link and integrate the education and training of learners and the labour force. Additionally, it is foreseen peak professional qualifications will widen education participation. Professional qualifications are the link between the labour market and education sought by many national training systems. As examples, Australia and the UK are currently undergoing national skills reform to strengthen this link. For learners, the Thai NQF links professional occupations to educational qualifications via RPL. Professional qualifications are gained via RPL. TPQI is an occupational standards agency. It is part of the Prime Minister's office. It is a public organisation. This is important because its activities go across ministries and it can respond to national skills priorities quickly. It is less bureaucratic. The TPQI creates, improves and develops occupational standards. It helps education institutions use occupational standards to develop competency-based curriculum. It develops testing systems. Across the globe, frequently TVET qualifications are not the same as occupational standards, and this makes it almost impossible for RPL. Australia's mature TVET qualification system struggles with this. Even though our competency-based modular qualifications reflect occupational standards, over the years they have become out of touch and contain additional input requirements, that is training speak for delivery and assessment, rather than simply learning outcomes. These input additions act as a barrier for RPL assessments. My work in the Middle East is also navigating this problem. Qualifications and occupations do not match. And for the TVET sector, that's a problem. Professional qualifications solve this problem. They are occupationally based, without training speak, without input requirements. RPL can proceed with less impediment. Professional qualifications are positioned as a translation piece, the bridge between informal learning outcomes and educational qualifications. But they are also a nationally recognised qualification in themselves, a qualification that has currency in both learning and earning markets. In action, professional qualifications act as a taxonomy in between the labour market and education. It has end-user usefulness as a labour market empowerment mechanism, as well as the more strategic objective of linking enterprises to education. We now invite Thunyamart to speak more on the professional qualification system in Thailand and show the RPL process that now includes migrants from neighbouring countries. You may note the ownership of employers, which alleviates the problem of trust that Pedro mentioned earlier on in his ILO presentation. Hi, Thunyamart.
Hi. Very honored to be a part of this conference. I'm Thunyamart. I will elaborate on what TPQI system is and how it can benefit the migrant workers. Could you please click on the next slide? Thank you. So, TPQI has been around for 10 years. Our professional qualifications...
Just a moment, Thunyamart. We'll just get the slide up. There we go. Okay, Thunyamart, we've got that now.
Okay. So this slide is our professional qualifications system. It's a new system. It's pretty young. It's been around for only 10 years. Before TPQI, the Office of Non-Formal and Informal Education under the Ministry of Education recognized non-formal and informal learning and accredited educational achievements in the Thai basic education context. So people could get upper secondary certification with this method of validation, for example, but they don't get recognized for their skills. If you wanted to get certification from the office, you will have to take a written test and submit documentary evidences. You can imagine that this would inevitably leave some groups out. For example, the majority of migrant workers who can't read and write Thai and don't have documentary evidences. But TPQI's system takes a different approach. Our professional qualifications system was established such that occupational standards exist side by side with education and training standards in the national system. So, like Deb said, it's an alternative system that also leads to national qualifications. People could get professional qualifications based on occupational standards that are developed by industries. In the top part of the slide, about the development of occupational standards. Here, TPQI is a mere facilitator in the process. The working groups who write standards and the standard endorsement committees have to be industry people. That's our rules, and it applies to every occupational standards. After the standard is complete, workplaces and schools can use our standards to develop their training programs. But we, TPQI, goes back to industry again and asks them if they want to be our assessors and assessment centers. So in the light gray box on the left side, we accredit professional associations, companies, and training providers to be our assessment centers. But our rule dictates that assessors have to be professionals who are currently working in the field with at least 5 years of experiences in that field. So next, a little bit below the red box here, the assessors will conduct assessment using TPQI's standardized assessment tools and assessment procedure. That's one component of our quality assurance mechanisms. The method of assessment is a combination of written exam, interview, and practical demonstration. Most occupations use interview and practical demonstration. So you can see that our assessment is RPL by nature. professional qualifications for career advancement is approved to their employers that they hold so many skills, they have so many skills already, and they have the skills for their higher positions, or they can ask for extra compensation, or they can ask for just recognition from their peers and employers, or they can use professional qualifications for further education and training. So in the bottom right corner of the slide, if they want to get a degree, they could apply to a university, and the university will have a small committee to decide how many credits can be given for this professional qualification and how many more they need to take courses in the university. Next slide, please. So this slide elaborates more on our RPL, or skills assessment system. Currently, TPQI has accredited and monitored 303 assessment centers across the country. A specific assessment center is for a specific occupation, so that's why there are a lot. Up until last year, there were almost 250,000 candidates, and only about half of them passed the assessment. If you look at the statistics in details though, you will find that those who didn't pass the assessment were mostly students. TPQI is open to students, professionals, and workers, but the skills and the standards usually are for those who have experiences and who have worked in the industry. Initially, only Thai people came to us to get professional qualifications. But last year, we reached out to migrant workers and collaborated with the International Organization for Migration, or IOM, UN Migration Agency, and we managed to award professional qualifications to 142 migrant workers. Next slide, please. Although the number of migrant workers who got professional qualifications is small, we are quite proud of this because it is the first in ASEAN. As of now, a lot of countries in the region don't have RPL system yet, and migrant workers cannot get qualifications from the host countries. So migrant workers were quite excited when they heard about this. There would have been more migrant workers with professional qualifications had the COVID not happened and we hadn't had COVID restriction measures. Nevertheless, we still managed to get the pilot project implemented successfully. We pilot with migrant domestic workers because most migrant workers in ASEAN are domestic workers. And they are women who face more risk and exploitation than other occupations. So they are our priority. The Thai law allows migrant workers to enter Thailand if they are from the countries that have MOUs with Thailand. And right now, Thailand has MOU with Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos PDR. But migrant workers are typically perceived as unskilled workers who are in Thailand to do the greedy jobs, like the difficult, dirty, and dangerous jobs, the jobs that locals wouldn't do. TPQI's RPL courses can prove their skills and can award them qualifications. For example, our pilot group, the domestic workers, they need to have transversal skills ranging from cleaning, doing laundry, cooking, gardening, and even taking care of kids and elderly. It isn't an unskilled occupation that, oh, you are a woman, so you can automatically do it. So it is our goal that if we recognize their skills, they can use the credentials to gain access to more decent jobs like cleaners, hotel housekeepers, and so on. Next slide, please. It is also our hope that their skills and working experiences in Thailand will benefit them when they return to their home countries. And they will have some certification to prove that they have acquired more skills prior to that departure. TPQI began to work on that. The Thai NQF was referenced to the regional qualifications framework, the Iceland qualifications referencing framework, and the Thai national. I will stop here because it's the last step for conclusion and final words. Over to you now.
Thank you, Thunyamart. Thunyamart, yeah. I don't know if you heard, but Thunyamart mentioned the ASEAN reference, qualification reference framework, which is quite a feat for that region and promotes skills mobility, which is the first for that region. Migrant workers in Thailand have been perceived as unskilled. TPQI formally recognises skills and experience in occupations that are traditionally perceived as unskilled and award professional qualifications. Certification helps migrants when they seek to change jobs and improves jobs opportunities when returning to their country of origin. In 2022, TPQI has continued the partnership with IOM and expands RPL activities to migrant domestic workers, construction workers and seamstress workers. If we have time, I haven't seen the flag. Can I ask Thunyamart how TPQI encourages, how is the RPL experience for migrants?
Well, thank you for the question. For them, because we one day is not a lot of time to ask for. So it's been pretty, it's been a positive experience for both migrant workers and for us.
Thank you, Thunyamart, and thank you for allowing us to share and being interested. Thank you.